Oh, that explains why nobody's on yet. Okay, whatever. Point is, though. Point is. Yeah, I'm really early. It's fine. It's fine. Season 8.5 is wrapping up this week.
Got one.
And dare I say, one of the better seasons we've had in a long time.
Double KO.
Dare I say, one of the better seasons we've had in a long time. And I'm sick of every fucking season seeing people come out constantly and going, this is the worst season ever. Oh my god, this season sucked. It was the worst ever. Every season can't be the worst season ever. We've had like 2 or 3 that are in contention as the worst seasons ever. Someone, Poke Slop, I'm so sick of seeing, oh my god, it's Poke Slop. You know who's banned every fucking game? Daredevil. You know how many times they shot that guy and he's still banned every game?
Here they come.
He's literally banned every fucking game. And unless you're playing in literal top 500, dive is viable and melee is viable in your rank. Actually, that's not true. Maybe eternity is actually probably where you're getting kind of falling off a little bit. That's where you're starting to get the people that actually like really know how to play the game a lot. But unless you're literally in those ranks, I promise you everything is pretty much viable for you. Sometimes it'll be a little bit harder than anything else. But I also promise you that you don't have Terra on fucking Hella in your games walking you down. Like that's just whatever. We want to talk about the meta itself, dude. I'm not gonna get baited. But this meta was a hot topic this season.
The game is balanced because dive is miserable to fight again. Low.
I need mute alerts. I forgot I always mute alerts during these. Otherwise, I get thrown off thing by like things that are like behind. Sorry, I appreciate the super chat, but I gotta turn off thing because otherwise I get thrown off whatever it's called off topic. That said, though, if you looked at anyone's beginning of season tier list into discussions about the game, everyone said this season was boring, the meta was super figured out, and that the game needed serious shakeups. When I played ranked this season, I had games of poke, I had games of dive, I had games with melee, I had games where we brawled, I had games where we did all different types of things depending on the maps. It was a map-based meta. It was a map-based meta in a lot of ways. Ultron S tier, everyone else F tier. Ultron was S tier if you were a pro player playing in the final games of Ignite. Even through the matches of Ignite before the grand finals, like the finals for like lower bracket, upper bracket, many teams that played triple support were playing Adam, Mantis, or if the Mantis was getting banned, they were playing Gambit, and then it wasn't triple support. There was actually lots of diversity in the meta. At even the pro level, even at the pro level, we saw Blade for a game. Okay, I didn't actually get to see the good game. I saw like the game where they tried to play Blade and got instantly fucking annihilated. That said, though, it was all over the place this season. You could play almost anything. Almost anything. There's obviously the same shit characters that have always been shit, but like those characters likely just need reworks, to be honest with you. And it's like, dude, going to this season, I thought the meta was defined. I thought the game was solved. I thought that, you know, it's the same characters every game and there's no difference. But the game didn't actually end up being like that. And it was actually pretty fun this season. I think this is the most I've played Rivals in a while this season. If you want to talk about Dino in the first half being a little oppressive, yeah, sure.
Not so fast.
Are you going to also argue with me that tank players probably didn't need that for a little bit? The tank was coming off of like some of its most boring seasons for a little bit, and it was kind of fun for like a week until it got permabanned.
That's 3.
Yeah, I think it was pretty fun. I think it was actually really fun for a lot of tank players for that straight week. It was great. And now the Dino's nerfed, and he's still strong. He's still decent. He's still good, but he's beatable. He's absolutely beatable. I remember people saying that that character needed a rework a week and a half in, and that was gaining traction. People were like, oh my god, he's Mauga. He's Mauga of Rivals.
Target neutralized.
But Flats, you barely play Rivals anymore. Isn't your just opinion on feelings on your part? I just want to break down what you just said to me. The second half. isn't this just opinion / feelings on your part? As if any of you or anyone you watch or anyone that you would think of isn't? I mean, there is data. You cannot make and balance a game strictly on data. It doesn't work. If that was true, you would give Phoenix 3 more buffs. Or 4 more buffs, because she's been weak for a few seasons now. Statistically. Widow should have gotten multiple buffs. She's sub 40%. But you don't buff those. Because you know you would break the game and make it unhealthy. So yes, it is all opinion based. Yes, it is all feeling based. And dare I say it, I'm pulling out the ego for half a second. I've been doing this a long time.
Double KO.
And I have a really good track record of whipping up the crazies.
3 in a row.
But it almost always comes back around. Never wrong, always, or sorry, that's not true. I have been wrong. Not typically wrong, normally just early. And hey, listen, I'm not trying to drag it back up again, but remember the whole balance is subjective bullshit? Here we are, end of the season. We got to see that most of the roster was viable throughout the season, both at the pro level and in ranked. Bans changed as the season went. Maps were defining what you were playing. Counter swapping on the enemy team was more viable because not just your character dominates them, but sometimes you needed to swap just to get a bit more of an advantage, right? Not saying counter swap is a great thing, but being able to swap in general is a good thing, right? Like, you shouldn't win the game just by counter swapping, but if you do have the game sense to learn, like, hey, see the comp they're in? Like, oh, they have 2 or 3 DPS that are dive DPS. If I go Penny, that'll help a lot. Boom, that's good game sense. That's different than, oh, they pick one tank, I just pick another thing and I beat them, right? Different type of counter swapping, let me be clear. That said, though, anyone who was able to adjust, anyone that was able to play multiple things on the fly, got a lot of value out of this season, right? Got a lot of value out of this season. So, not every character obviously was super strong, but I think everything was almost playable. And I saw almost every character get played. So, again, I take it back to, remember, just 3 or 4 weeks ago, the meta is super solved.
Here they come.
The game sucks. Game's not fun, which is subjective, of course. You can have that opinion. No one's gonna say you're not wrong, because you can have that. And all of these things that just weren't true, right? They just weren't true. Now, if you want to talk about the new characters that came out, right? Dino I already went over, right? Dino we already went over. Cyclops was really strong. Actually, it's funny. So Cyclops, when he came out, people thought was actually pretty balanced with time. People figured out that he's actually a little too strong. The difference was it wasn't his ult. His ult is really strong, but it wasn't just his ult. It was ult with rocket amp plus just like the constant uptime of damage. So he started getting kind of breaking through that barrier where Cyclops kind of ran the lobby. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little bit of a nerf.
Nothing
but
personal.
I just like I can't help but sit here and laugh sometimes because I watch this community whip itself into a frenzy about things that they believe as objective truths to just then be wrong, to then just do the same thing again the next week and never think, oh shit, maybe we should give it a little bit of time, or oh shit, you know, like that perspective is different from mine. Even if I don't agree with it, maybe I should at least take it under consideration.
Wow, 4 in a row.
That's one of the big things you can do. Is just at least consider it, right? There's a lot of people that won't consider shit. I'll give you a good example, right? I'll give you a good example. When we're talking about balance for a game, right? We're talking about balance for a game. There's many ways of looking at it. And this season, that really came to the forefront in conversations. And there's still a lot of people on many sides that stamp their flag in the ground and don't move, right? And it's like, Well, if you only stay on one side of things, you're never going to learn, you're never going to expand your horizons. You're never going to be able to actually see the full picture.
Here they come.
And I want to say Rivals has done a pretty good job of seeing the whole picture this season. They didn't knee-jerk. They didn't knee-jerk this season. This was the first season they didn't knee-jerk. They didn't knee-jerk Dino. They waited for the full season, the full half season. They didn't knee-jerk on Cyclops. They didn't knee-jerk on dive players. They didn't knee-jerk on the poke players. They actually held their fucking ground. And I gotta give them credit for that one. I like that. I respect the shit out of that.
Double KO.
I respect the shit out of that. I think they did a good job this season of standing their ground and being like, this is good. They kind of knee-jerked on Dino. They waited for the season to be over. They waited for the half season.
Five.
They really waited for the half season. I can't say that they knee-jerked. That said, though, I do think the game needs a lot of improvements. I think the things the game needs to improve on the most are attracting that casual audience again, and also how to work together, right? Working together in a lot of ways is something that this game really did well when it first came out. Like the team ups is a good example, right? Forcing people into team ups. A lot of the team ups now are just kind of not that great. So I'd love to see a return to form with some of the team up stuff. I would love to see punishments of toxicity. I would love to see, like, I'm so sick of having the slur slinging slasher pop into my game and nothing happens to them. And I think that goes at all levels. I think that I personally, I'll be so real with you for a second. Personally, I think if there are pro players that straight up admit and have like literal video evidence of them like hard slurring on people, like, and that you should come and be like, we don't want you. Like, get the fuck out of here. Genuinely. Like, it comes from the top down. And I know this, listen, I try to avoid the whole Sentinels drama bullshit. If you didn't see, Crimzo and their team basically fell apart, blah, 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 blah. If you look at the tweets that people made about that incident, and then look at the replies, it is actual crazy town. Like crazy town USA. You could literally point a dot and be like, that's a place you never want to go. You know? Dude, it is actually fucking crazy, the shit you see in there sometimes. And what I mean by that is, like, just kind of like, it festers. It kind of festers if you never really do anything about it. You know? Nobody really speaks up. Nobody really says anything back. And then if anyone does say anything or speak up about it, there's a big wave against them, and the wave behind them isn't nearly as strong, even if most people kind of agree with it, you know? So, like, unfortunately, I kind of think it has to be up NetEase to do that, because NetEase is a faceless entity. You know what I mean? Realistically, the toxic people in the community is what turns new players away. Yeah, I mean, that does happen. That 100% does happen. And I've seen people get like comms banned for nothing. Like, I got a guy in my game the other day who got comms banned for just talking. He was just calming a lot. He got comms banned. You know, he literally got comms banned for straight up just talking. He came to my Twitch chat and was like, I'm comms banned. And I'm like, what? They didn't say anything wrong. Nothing bad. But like, I've also had the slur sling slasher. Like, I literally had some like child in a quick play game. Like, your kid was literally probably like 8 years old, with a voice changer, starts spamming the N-word. I reported the guy. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So it's like, I think that those are parts that the game really needs to work on, and really needs to figure out. Figuring out how to make people work together again. Really getting people to work together. Because like, you can't fix a community. You genuinely can't, right? The only way you can quote unquote fix a community is like just trying to have the impact on it that you like, a good positive impact, whether it's you or me. Which, by the way, Harry, thank you for the big 10 gifted. Hey, I appreciate you, big 10 gifted. Sorry, I have all the alerts off right now because I just want to get through everything and I don't want to like lose my train of thought. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Nothing personal.
The only way we can get through it is like straight up pouring into the community what you want to see out of it, right? And I it's frustrating because obviously like the loud minority or the extremely loud minority is always going to be like prevalent. You're never going to be able to like overpower them because most people are going to be quiet on stuff, right? With that said, though, I do think that there's like little mini safe havens in places that it shouldn't be. And I think I'd love to see them kind of like start to take action against that and kind of start to remove that a little bit. What else though? What else? Oh, tournaments. We had Zaza 2.0 tournament. Low key, that was fire. That was actually one of the best.
Here they come.
That was one of the best tournaments they've actually ever had. Everything you could have asked for, genuinely. It was a damn good tournament. They had fucking huge drama, so it went all over the place. It'll be remembered as a drama tournament, but it will also be remembered as that's the World Cup, the first World Cup, but also as a drama tournament. And like low key, that's both good and bad. Low key, it's good because if you remember, we've had a couple good tournaments in this game. We had like the Super tournament, dude. Super's tournament, phenomenal. Super hosted a Rivals tournament. It went perfect. It was great tournament. Nobody remembers it.
That's 3.
Got one.
No one remembers it. Tournament was fire, even though the drama just bad balancing. That's never getting fixed. Of course, it's never gonna get fixed. But I think they did a decent job. You know, I think they did a decent job. I think like some teams got fucked. Like some teams got fucked, like royally fucked. But like overall though, like if they can figure out like just having 2-2-2, you know what I mean? Just having 2-2-2. Panu winning was a factor, low key. Wrong tournament, buddy. That's the other one. That was the other tournament. Hang on. In a bit. Busy right now. Yeah, in a bit, that's all. In a bit. That was a different tournament, which by the way, that was also a good tournament. The Sinnoh tournament. That was actually another good tournament as well. I think that they've found a good niche with running these tournaments. And I know people get really upset. They're like, oh my God, there's always drama. But like, realistically though, people don't ever see the good of these. Because, for example, people always bitch about the tournaments not having small creators. And they do. Bro, the World Cup tournament had tons of small creators. Dude, the team that won Latin America had a bunch of them. But you know what? Nobody sees them because they're small creators. And so they see the announcements and they see like the XQCs, the Silkies, right? They see the big names. They're like, oh my God, there's no small streamers here. Because you didn't scroll, you fucking moron. You don't care about the small streamers. You genuinely don't give a fuck. Like most people sit there and cry and say, oh, what about the small streamers? You don't support them. You don't show up. So you need that mix. You need the big guys to come in and work with them. And then boom, it actually is, it works out a ton. It actually makes sense. It's a reason for the big streamers to come in, right? It's a reason for big streamers to come in because they have a chance to win money and play in a tournament. And then small streamers get to play alongside of them, right? Wait, hang on, what did that say? What did you say? So the tournament was fun, but that shit was not competitive. I mean, I don't think Sinnoh knew what she was doing, to be honest with you. No offense to Sinnoh, but like, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm running an event right now with Rivals Command Contest, where basically you guys, yo, what's up, Shib? Where basically like, I try to make it as casual and like easy to enter as possible, right? And then basically it's just a clip contest where you just submit clips. That's literally what it is. Like, it's literally just a clip contest. That's the only thing we could do. That was like super whatever. I will tell you from my experience working with Rivals, Rivals is very much like, hey, this is what we're looking for. You handle it, right? So I'm assuming that's what they did with Sinnoh, where Sinnoh probably had to be the one to figure it all out and put it all together, right? Find like tournament staff, find people to like run the tournament, find balancing and all that stuff, and only had, you know, like 1 or 2 people in her ear to potentially help with that, right? It was definitely the company she worked with. Yeah, but like, I don't know what company she worked with, but I guarantee that company she worked with does not have the intricate knowledge of the community to figure out balancing. I've worked with many. You know, like they have no clue. They got no idea, right? They got no idea. So like they probably couldn't figure it out. They probably were just grabbing like peak ranks from all time and then like just throwing them all together, right? And like they don't understand like DPS in those tournaments is like significantly more valuable than say support, right? Support is like way less valuable in a tournament with a bunch of different ranks than DPS is, because DPS can frag out. Support doesn't have nearly the amount of impact, right? Regardless of the point of it, all to come back together was the tournaments was good. I think the tournaments actually worked out really well. Actually, because Shib's here, I'm going to cover it really quick. I talked about pro play stuff before. Let's talk about the actual Ignite games. I think the Ignite games were actually pretty good. I watched a decent amount of them. There was different metas being played. They were actually somewhat exciting. Production kind of was dropping the ball, if I'm completely honest with you. But like, it was actually pretty good. That was probably some of the best Ignite games, the best pro games I've seen in a long time. The problems are, it takes too fucking long to get into the next game. There's way too long of a break between games.
Here they come.
And two, their drops are fucking dog shit. Like, their drops are dog shit. One of these days, Rivals is gonna figure it out, and I actually have a feeling that they have figured it out. And the reason, my theory for that is because of the Wolverine skin that's happening right now. They only give out those purple skins when the. God, let me just finish this, please. I'm sorry. I like to just. Otherwise I get off track. They only do those purple seasons or those changes at the start of the season. The fact that they did it with the Ignite tournament means that they're probably like, they have a backlog and they're using that backlog, right? They're using that backlog to start filling that void, to start doing the skins, even if they're worse right now, to then in the future have better ones. Yes, costume coins, yes, chrono tokens, I agree on all those things. However, though, I'm just saying, like, in general, right? In general, I think that they are realizing it, that they're kind of making a mistake. Because, like, if you just open up OWCS, like Overwatch World, like, Championship Series, and then you open up Rivals, that one has, like, 14 fucking drops. Then you have Rivals, like, 3. And also, one other thing, too. I don't know if Rivals noticed. They didn't put restrictions on the Rival skin. So, like, some of my friends were streaming other games and had the Rivals skin on. And they straight up weren't playing Rivals, and they hadn't played Rivals, and they weren't co-streamers for the tournament either. Like, they haven't played Rivals in months. Right? ML had Rivals drops last week, I think. There's multiple people I know of that had drops in other games. I just said, let me finish this first quad. You guys are all saying don't a wall. I just said out loud. Guys, why are you guys acting like I didn't just say something? That said though, I think they need to be a little bit more attentive to that kind of stuff. And also just like giving better rewards to the community. And the reason why, if you don't understand why you need to have better drops for pro play, is that this game is extremely casual and it doesn't have a competitive community just yet. And honestly, if in my opinion, the hardcore like community so far, I'm gonna pick fights. I don't give a fuck. Are kind of mean. They're kind of evil. They're like, it's a lot of kids, like 14 to like 17-year-old. Like if you're wondering who the slur slinging slasher Smurf in your game is, it's probably like a high rank, hyper competitive player that wants to be a pro, right? I hate to say it, but that's kind of where we're at the moment. And I would love to see the more casual community kind of start to go over, right, and kind of overtake those voices because it's so small at the moment. They're louder, right? I would love to see more of like, you know, the normies that kind of start to work their way over, so it's not as maybe embarrassing to interact with that group as much, right? And the way you do that is by having an incentive to get them in the door. It's the same way with almost any business. You put on a sale, right? You have a buy one, get one free. You know, you come to my restaurant, you get a free appetizer, right? Something to get you in the door, right? And then you could do that with drops. It's super free. Like, yes, people can AFK drops, but people AFK on TV, right? Like, when a person is on TV, right? When an advertiser sells an ad to fucking, I don't know, some cable company, right? And then they show that on TV, every channel that's on with that TV on counts as a view. And they go back to the advertiser and like, we got 100,000 views on your ad. Here you go. How many of those people are actively watching the TV? Half, maybe. Some people are sitting there on their couch watching the TV. Some people put it on the background in the kitchen, whatever it is, right? They might not actually be paying attention. And so, yes, that is true. However, that's not like view botting. That is views, and those are valuable to either potential sponsors or to people in the future just being like, oh, hey, there's a lot of people like watching Rivals these days. Wonder what's going on over there, you know? Wonder what's going on over there. And they go take a little peek, right? They take a little peek. Sounds like Fextra Life. I mean this with all due disrespect. You have no fucking clue how streaming works. You have no idea how media works.
4 in a row.
embedding views off a website does not equal incentivizing people to get in the door. Like, I've seen those streams. It literally doesn't have anyone talking. That's just, it's not the same. And what I mean by that is, people, even though there are gonna be people that AFK just to get drops, there are people that are gonna watch, right? Even if it's on their second monitor. Like, if you're at work, right? Let me explain to you this. It's a very easy situation to explain to you. Let's say you're at work. You work in an office. When you get home, you don't want to watch streams. What you do is you sit down, start your work. You pull up your second monitor. Oh, I want my drops. Oh, Ignite's on? Put it on 1%, and then you go to do your work. Hour into work. Oh, okay, a little fatigue's kicked in. Check my phone. Okay, go back, do a little more work. Check my phone. Oh, nothing's changed. How's that Ignite thing looking? Whatever. Whatever. Lunch comes around. Go out to lunch. Come back. Same thing, check your phone. More stuff's updated. Nice. Go back to work and check your phone again. Oh, not much. How's that Ignite thing looking? And then you take a look. And with enough little peeks over, a few more peeks over at it, right? You peek over at it a couple more times. There's people that are doing it literally right now with my stream. Right?
Here they come.
You all are getting it. You're like, oh shit, I'm kind of doing that right now. You realize, oh shit, this is actually kind of good. I kind of enjoy this. Which is why I've always prided myself as being a second monitor streamer. How do you think I've gotten this far? If there's someone who knows how it works, it's me. And then with time, one of two things happens. One, you're either here for events, and you're like, oh shit, that's my event guy, and I'll wait for stuff to happen. Or there's those that literally come here every day, and you come more and more and more and more, or when you got nothing to do. I'm your second monitor streamer. Ignite can do that as well. Ignite can do that as well with its own community, because it has a massive casual console community. And if I know anything about console, because I played on it for many, many years, console is not connected in the gaming sphere the same way as PC gamers are. They're not. They're racist. Listen, I already went on my rant about that. You missed it about like 20 minutes ago, Quad. I went through the pro player thing. We already went through that whole thing. I'm gonna keep it moving because I already went past that part, but I did cover that a little bit. That said, they're mostly on TikTok, if anything, right? Because it's easy to scroll on their phone. But most of the PC, like they don't have a PC up on the second monitor. They don't have the second monitor, right? They don't have it. They play on their TVs. They play on whatever at home. And then when I work, it's not even something they really think about. They probably watch YouTube videos more than Twitch streams, right? So it's like Twitch is more of like hardcore gaming, I would say, while YouTube streaming is a little bit different, but like YouTube videos is like more of the casual side, but still like it's a mix, right? But like that's where you get more of the casual. That's why there's YouTube videos that get 50, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, million views, whatever. But like a stream of that same thing might get, at most 5K views, 10K views, right? Concurrent.
Not today.
You get what I'm saying? Like YouTube's so much bigger because it's a much wider net, much longer shelf time, stuff like that. That said though, Ignite could do way, way more. Way, way more. And I think they should. I think they could bring in a lot more players. Anything else I'm missing? From season 8.5? I think that's everything. I think I covered everything. Balance already went over. Oh, summer skins? Yeah, 10 out of 10, no notes, they cooked.
Always overreach.
10 out of 10, no notes, they cooked.
Have to put things back together.
Cap? Oh my god, don't forget about freedom. Freedom getting delivered to everyone. That's America's I said hanger. That's America's hammer right there, baby. Like, equal opportunity gooning. I'm with you. I agree with you. But the thing is, though,
I've done things.
It's kind of a good sign in a weird way. Bring it back, okay. It's kind of a good sign in a weird way that Rivals still has that impact. Like, Rivals has that impact where it will reach every inch of the gaming sphere. Everyone knows about Captain America's hammer right now. Everyone knows about it. Everyone from every inch of the internet of gaming. Guys, stop saying inch. Stop saying inch. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody knows about it, okay? Everybody knows. Everybody knows. So it's a good sign. They still have, hey, they still have that aura. They still have that ability to sway people, right? God, I gotta stop using words that could, forget it. They have that impact if they want to, right? And I think in the last few seasons,
Prepare to engage.
I'm sick of it. And I know how social media works, and I'm sick of it. Where everything sucks, nothing is good. And then, when those things end up being wrong, none of those people go back and say it. Oh shit, that thing was actually pretty good, right? Oh shit, that was actually pretty decent. Oh shit, that was actually pretty good. It's always just everything sucks, everything's horrible, everything's falling apart. Without any logic, without any waiting, without any trying to figure it out. And then just move on to the next thing. And the next thing sucks. Right? So, that said, I have a lot of hopes for whatever the fuck this season 9 shit is. But I also hope that
Hostile forces incoming.
people chill out a little bit. Not everything sucks balls all the time, you know? And just because you're not enjoying the game right now doesn't mean it's bad. It might mean you're burnt out, or it might mean that there's something else at play. Because if there's other people that are saying, yeah, I'm actually having fun right now, right? Try to figure out why. Right? The game's in a bad state, bro, but it's not. No, it's not. This was objectively a very good season. And you're kind of someone I'm talking about with this. You're someone I'm talking about. You're someone I'm talking about, genuinely. Where you might be burnt out. You might have to play a little less. You might have to have a more healthy relationship with the game.
Hostile forces incoming.
Because lots of people say that, and then it's really not true. And I say this, and I know it's not your fault because you might not know the impact. Because like realistically, what impact do you have? It's a good question, right? As me, Joe Schmo. But every time I see, 20K, 10K follower TikTok account, or 2K Twitter account, right? Make a tweet and it blows the fuck up. Basically, oh, game sucks, whatever. You kind of do a little more damage to the game, right? The game already kind of doesn't have a great reputation with people. And then if they see in passing that all it is the game sucks, game's whatever, you're kind of hurting it even more. When realistically, it might not actually be bad. It just might be you've been playing too much. So my point of the whole season is if you're starting to feel like Rivals isn't good, and you're starting to feel like things really suck, and everything sucks, and doom and gloom, you're losing your games, balance sucks, Guang's dumb, whatever it is, maybe go, I'm going to take a few days off and come back. Take like a week off. See what happens. I'm genuinely encouraging you to take a week off. I'm telling you. I love you, but you think us casual people impact the game more than streamers like you, Necros, Boger? On an individual level, absolutely not. As a collective? Well, hang on. How many times do you see a tweet blow up of somebody, or TikTok blow up of something going crazy, right? On individual level, absolutely not, right? But if there's 100 fucking tweets a day about how much Rival sucks, and they're getting good traction, or TikToks that sucks, and there's only one saying it's positive, and the way social media works is negative stuff always will get more traction than positive stuff, almost always, right? It actually comes a little bit more even, right? So I'm not saying like you individually, like you need to be better. I'm just saying like the community needs you to pour into it what you want to get out of it. So it's easy to say, oh, I have no impact, right? But like everyone has a little impact. It's just like having an impact on the planet. Everyone has a small impact on the planet, whether it's in your small community, whether it's on the big stage, whether you're working in the government at like a high level, or you're just working as a fucking, you know, someone who's just like, I don't know, doing some gardening on the side, right? Like you have an impact every day, a little bit. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, just try to be like a little bit better, you know, just try to be a little bit better. Cause that's what I'm trying to do. I try to do it a little bit every day. And I think this game needs a little bit less, everything is sucks, everything is doom and gloom. That's all. That's all the whole point was. The point was just to have a little bit less doom and gloom constantly. And that if you are someone that's constant doom and gloom right now, just take a week off. See what happens. That's all. Just give it a try. That's all I'm asking. Just give it a try. And I mean, it shouldn't be that big of an ask anyways. If you're having a bad time, then it's like, well, why are you doing something you hate? You know what I mean? Just give it a try. That's all. Give it a try. That's all I'll say. Anyways, I think I've said everything I wanted to say though. I think overall, if I had to give 8.5 a rating, I'd say that was, I think it was probably close to a 9. Probably close to a 9. I think that was like a 9. I'd give it a 9. I wish I had more hype. I wish but I think that was close to a 9. That was probably a 9. Good season. Very good season. Okay, hang on. I gotta turn my fan on.
Hostile forces
The same
incoming.
guy who said this season sucks said, bro, flat screen for real. You're not listening. Brother, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You didn't listen. You missed the part where we were talking about how you gotta be a little bit more open to how if there's people that are disagreeing with you, try to figure out why, right? Try to figure out why. Try to figure out why.
Stand down.
That's all. Try to figure out why. And if it seems to be all over the place, like everyone's got different takes on it, like wildly different takes, it might not be as clear. There might be, it might genuinely be, there's not much wrong at all.
Coming through.
It might not be much wrong at all at that point. I'm brand new and I'm having the time of my life, especially in ranked. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people I get every day. I get at least 1 or 2 chatters every day that like sub or something like that. And they're like, hey Flats, I'm new to Rivals. I found your videos. I've been having a blast. Thanks. Which is a damn good sign, by the way, because I used to play a little game called Overwatch, and there was a while there where I didn't see anyone. There was nothing. There was never a new guy. There was always, oh, I'm coming back. That's it. There was no I'm brand new, you know? That wasn't a thing for a little bit. You know what I mean? I haven't played since season 1. Is it a trip for me? I've only played about 2 weeks of the season. You know, I saw a clip of Joe Bart. I saw a clip of Joe Bart saying he's been playing Rivals off stream and having a lot of fun too. And just saying, you know, maybe there's a lot more people having fun than you think.
Double kill.
Because people that are having fun aren't going to complain. You're not going to see them. They're just going to play the game,
3.
right?
Hostile forces incoming.
Can I get some advice for a convention? Yeah. Oh, you want to hop in now?